when I spoke about the strong trust between us, I think we would like to translate that trust more and more into an actual partnership. So whether it's technology, whether it's an industrial partnerships, education, defense, security, really we are open in all domains. I think today the enthusiasm and the levels of comfort are very strong between India and the United States. So it was really a question, I mean, we were competing with each other to say, look, how faster, how much faster, how much, further we can take this relationship and how best we can do that. Just want to say a few words about the Quad as well, and then I'd be happy to respond to any questions or comments you have. For Secretary Rubio and Foreign Minister Iwaya of Japan, this was the first Quad meeting that they were attending. Minister Wong, Penny Wong, and I had done quite a few before. So in a way, it was a sort of a stock taking of the Quad. So each one of us came in with, where we thought we were. But there was a very, I would say, animated exchange of ideas. And the sentiment in the room was very much that, Quad is a collaborative activity. And therefore, it's important to continuously refresh it, to keep doing more and more, to keep adding substance. And I think we ended on the note that this year India would be hosting the Quad Leaders Summit. So between now and the summit, what are the new ideas, the fresh activities that we could contemplate? So we felt that this was something which our team should get to work to, and we ourselves as ministers committed ourselves to monitoring it and meeting as required. Where the Quad is concerned, I would say the fact that the Quad Foreign Ministers meeting was held on the first day of the administration. I'm here as Special Envoy of the Prime Minister for the inauguration of President Trump and Vice President Vance. So I will run through broadly what I was doing in the last 2 days and some of the discussions, share some of the substance of the discussions we've had. So with regard to the inauguration ceremonies, I attended the swearing in. There was a church service before that. Evening there were socials. So it gave me an opportunity to meet a few other people there. I had an occasion to meet the Secretary of State, and since he was confirmed, we had a bilateral meeting yesterday at the Department of State. And there was also a Quad Foreign Ministers meeting because all the Quad Foreign Ministers were here for the inaugural. Separately, I met National Security Advisor Mike Waltz. I had met him in December when I came. And during the course of my stay, I also had the opportunity to interact with Speaker Johnson, with Majority Leader Senator Thune. I made the acquaintance of 6 cabinet members of the incoming of the administration which has come in. So that's broadly in terms of the activities of the last 2 days. If I were to share my overall impressions, I would say one, it was very clear that the Trump administration was keen to have India present at the inaugural itself, and they're clearly prioritizing the bilateral relationship. Secondly, I think in the meetings I had, it was also evident that they would like to build on the foundation of the relationship, a foundation which the first Trump administration also contributed a lot to building. but President Trump and Prime Minister Modi at that time took a number of initiatives, and we have seen that mature in many ways. And the third impression was with regard to the Quad. Again, a very strong sense that the current administration would reciprocate our desire as well to take the Quad further, to intensify its activities. And I remind you that Quad itself was restarted in 2017 when in the United States Donald Trump was the president. Let me say a few words about the bilateral relationship because I had both in my meeting with Secretary Rubio as well as NSA Waltz, a lot of our discussion centered on the bilateral side. And, in many ways, I think between us and the Trump administration, we approach the world both with a clear-eyed sense of our national interest, belief in the, the mutuality of benefits in any interaction. I think we have a very strong degree of trust today between India and the United States, a very high level of convergence of our interests, and a sense that while we serve our national interests, while we build our bilateral partnership, definitely on regional issues and global issues, there is a lot of good that we can do. So that sense of global good was also very evident conceptually in what we discussed. In terms of the bilateral ties, I think now you do understand this was the first day of the administration, so obviously we had a sort of essentially a broad brush conversation, didn't get too deep into details, but there was, I think, an agreement, a consensus between us that we need to be bolder, we need to be bigger, we need to be more ambitious. The interactions between us should be more intensive. And some of the specifics we discussed, we want to promote the ease of building the relationship. That how do you make business, mobility, education, technology, defense, security, how do you make it easier to do between two countries who would like to do it? But there are the burden of regulations and the complexity of processes. So I did see understanding and a recognition that